Howdy, folks. Welcome to Sticks-n-Stonez. Nope, don't need picture in picture. As it is every week. I hope everybody's had a good week. It's still warm here in Texas, but so far the hundreds have retreated, and we are down into lovely 90-degree, 95-degree weather. But there's still kind of warm. Got the fan on. I got a great show for you lined up today as I'm over here dicking around trying to see myself on X, but I'm learning to work with it. Today I am pairing Russell's Reserve 10-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with a Punch Rare Corojo Magnum. I think it's going to be a really great pairing. So let's go ahead and just dive right on in as I continue to try and do two things at one time, which don't normally work very well, but that's part of the love, I guess. Why do I think this pairing is going to work? Well, Russell's Reserve 10-year leans on that, like classic Kentucky caramel, vanilla, cherry, orange peel kind of thing, and firm yet polite, kind of oak spine with some baking spices and things of that nature in there, and it well seasoned barrels. The Punch Rare Corojo is it's dressed in a Ecuador Sumatra wrapper. That brings a really nice like red pepper zing to it, and cedar, roasted nuts, maybe a little touch of dried fruit. So you've got sweet oak that meets baking spice, that meets peppered cedar. So it's kind of a natural handshake for sweet and spicy. I swear. I wish they'd let me do this ahead of time, but they don't. That looks like it could be me right there. All right. Nope, that's not. That's last week. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and dive right into the Russell Reserve. For those of you that don't know, Russell Reserve is the brainchild of Jimmy Russell and his son Eddie. They've been making whiskey for like 90 years. So where'd my glass go? Oh, it was in my pocket. That's a good place for it. I put it in my pocket because I didn't want to drop it as I'm bringing everything out here. This isn't a professional recording studio. So I've learned to take up and put up and take down pretty quickly my little mobile recording studio here. Oh, there I am right there. All right. Take a look at that. That has just got some beautiful color to it. It's that beautiful kind of reddish copper color on the nose. I get like caramel corn. It's not quite the popped corn, but it's like if you just dip the corn in caramel. So you get this nice mixture of corn and caramel up front. Then you get some like vanilla cream mixed with a little bit of like orange zest, maybe some cherry, maybe like cherry jelly or something like that. I know they've got a fancy word for it, but I don't know what it is. I get some hints of saddle leather and a touch of cinnamon. So let's go right ahead. Hey, I'm doing good. I'm not at the 5-minute mark. I'm telling you, right up front, before you ever really start picking up any other flavors on the profile, you get that sweetness on your tongue. And it's when you drink anything sweet, as soon as it touches your tongue, you get the sweetness, but it's once it goes across your palate that you start getting the flavors. And that's the way this is. You get this nice sweetness that then as the spirit crosses over all of your taste buds, and you start getting bombarded with all these other flavors. But I get a nice notes of honey and maybe some toffee. That's a little deeper kind of sweetness. That's something along the lines of like a cherry Coke or something like that. As it goes farther back on the tongue, you get some cloves and some nutmeg, and then there's a nice mature oak to it, and no bitterness, no alcohol burn at all, none. The finish, it's kind of a medium to long finish, with some brown sugar and a little more citrus, and then this nice gentle kind of rye spice. It's a really great spirit, really great spirit. That is wonderful. I'm telling you, this has been on the back of my shelf for a while, and I'm beginning to wonder why. Like, why did I keep that back there? All right, one more, then we'll move on. Yeah, that's an awesome spirit. By the way, this is 45% alcohol by volume, so it's 90 proof. So it's right there in that range the average bourbons are at. You know, it has to be above 80. When you start tipping over the 100 mark, it starts getting, you know, a little more bold. But kind of all the regular bourbons kind of fall in that right around that 90 range, where it's maybe a little below or a little above. Anyway, let's move on. Punch, one of probably the most well-known cigar manufacturers as far as worldwide. They've been at it since about 1840, so they kind of know what they're doing. I have noticed on this stick, while it is a really beautiful, like dark chocolate kind of brown, there are a few veins that you might not even be able to see. The seams are tight but visible, and I have noticed it is pressed very oddly. Pull that up to the camera. You can kind of see it's a mixture of square corners and rounded corners that almost create a letter D. You've got a very sharp corner on this corner, very sharp, moderately sharp on this corner, and then the bottom corners are rounded to create like a smile. So maybe that's because it's, you know, such a good stick, right? I have noticed that there is one rolling problem. You can kind of see it right there. The leaf is just not, it didn't get tucked cleanly. It's the first time I've seen a cigar with that much of a visible imperfection in it that came from rolling in quite a while. And then it has a nice double cap on the nose. Sorry. I get some nice notes of raisin and a really nice sweet cedar aroma, and then some faint cocoa in the background. Let's give it a cut. Oh, man, I'm rolling today. Don't do this at the cigar shop when you're using their cutter. I've been seeing that a lot on social media, so apparently it's a problem. And yeah, and don't do it when you go over to somebody else's house either. You don't want to use their cutter and get your spit all over their cutter. Anyway, on the cold draw. I get some really like deep notes of, I wanted to first say raisin, but I think it's an even deeper note of like cherry. I pick up some more cedar, maybe just a hint of nuttiness, not a specific nut, but probably one of the more, what's the word, smooth as opposed to sharp nuts, something maybe along the lines of an almond or a cashew, maybe a little bit more oily. And it's got a really nice draw to it too, really nice. All right, let's go ahead and fire this puppy up. Really nice volume of smoke coming off of it. I get a kind of red pepper, kind of spicy tingle, and then a little bit of maybe like wet toasted kind of cedar. A hint of maybe walnuts, because you know I said there was some nuttiness in the draw that was a little bit more oily. Well, there's walnuts in this first draw, and so that's definitely an oily nut. And I like the flavor of walnuts, like when I smoke. I don't just really like walnuts like as the nut, but this is really good. On the retro, I get pepper, maybe a little bit more cedar, and then maybe just a touch of like lemon zest or something like that. I don't think I did a really great job of lighting. Yeah, I think that's me. Always try and catch those early so they don't turn into something worse as we go along, because then you end up with a cigar that's all messed up. Kind of forgotten really how good Punch was. Punch is one of the first like true cigars that I smoked. I'm not talking like the stuff you buy at the convenience store, you know, when I was a teenager. But when I was deployed to Baghdad, um, I was able to get a hold of some Cuban-made punches in the tubos in the metal tube, and it's really great smoke. And that's what really kind of got me into smoking cigars, and that's been 21 years ago. Oh yeah. I'm going to do it the other way around here in just a second. I think I kind of liked the taking the puff first. They like it the other way around. It's harder to control. But my take on this first part is I get the nice caramel and cedar. The cigar's kind of red pepper snap is kind of softened by the vanilla and the honey of the Russell's Reserve. Hang on. The spirit kind of turns the cigar's cedar kind of sweeter and makes it more like a almost like toasted marshmallow on wood. So I don't really know how better to explain that. But I've told you, any of y'all that watch me regularly, I blow the smoke in the glass. It doesn't really mean anything to me. It just gives me the smallest amount of time between the smoke in my mouth and the sip to kind of really get them together. And I will tell you, it really does when I take the puff first and then the sip in this combination. The sip has the remaining smoke, aromas, flavors that are in my mouth. It immediately turns them to like I was saying, like a toasted kind of wood, kind of s'mores kind of thing, where you get that little bit of fiery addition to it, the smoky aspect, I guess. I love s'mores. Got a fire pit out here. As soon as it cools off here in Texas, we're gonna start making s'mores again. I love those. This is a really great cigar. We're only about a half-inch in. But after I touched up my squirrely lighting, it's got a really nice sharp burn line. We've started with some really nice, neat stacks of ash. Great smoke production. I've smoked several of these Rare Corojos, and I've never been disappointed. Sometimes you'll find an odd, maybe the roller was having a rough day that day, and you got a cigar that wasn't exactly up to standards. That's happened to me, but all of these so far have been really good. Watching the Browns and the Eagles. Glad we got football back. My Aggies got 2 more weeks, 2 weeks from today. Ready for football. Get on. Yeah, the Russell's Reserve it's really a great spirit. As you can tell, I've already been at it quite a bit, and it's kind of got the father son kind of legacy to it. And it's really balanced. It's got a lot of rich, spicy kind of vanilla flavors. And there's another Russell's out that's a little harder to get that I'd really love to try. So far, I haven't been willing to pay what they're asking for it. So, which is a lot of them. I was at the package store right before I came here, and they had some bottles of EHT small batch and bottle of Blanton's up on the shelf behind the counter, and the EHT was like $89, and I didn't want to say anything, but I'm like, dude, I picked up EHT small batch like 2 weeks ago at another little liquor store just a few miles from here for $65. So, yeah, those that are not maybe they're not whiskey hunters, be careful with what you're paying for, because whiskey prices are coming down. So EHT just a few months ago would have cost you $125, $130 for a bottle. As a matter of fact, several years ago, I mean like 4 or 5, I walked into Specs one day, and they had 1.75 liters of Weller Special Reserve for $44. Those of you that are whiskey hunters are like, a 1.75 liter. I haven't opened it. It's still in there on my shelf because I'm still working on the 5th that I bought. The 5th I bought a little while after that when the prices started rising. I paid like $75 for the 750 milliliter. Like a full 1 liter larger, I paid $30 less for. Yeah, whiskey prices have been outrageous, but they're finally starting to kind of come back to earth, which is good, because there's a lot of this stuff that it's been very elusive because of the price and the availability, and then when it is actually able to fit in their budget and they buy it and they try it and they're like, it's good. I wouldn't have paid $150 for it. No. I'm like, there is so many bottles out there that are even less than $75. You can get a bottle of like Old Number 7 or regular Maker's Mark or Four Roses. Good stuff. And a lot of people will read into these more elusive bottles as they must be so much better. maybe, maybe not, but you know. Hmm. Still, as we're approaching about an inch there, it's got a really nice burn line to it. After I touched it up, it's no longer funky or wonky. Still got those nice stacks of ash. Uh, I've always been satisfied with punch. I don't know that I've had one that's just blown me out of the water, uh, but I've tried a lot of the dot line, like the red dot and the blue dot and the white dot and all that. I've had the signature, the Rare Corojo. I've had several others. I've had probably 6 or 8 or 10 different punches over the years, and they're always good. They are, uh, but I haven't had any that's just like blown me away, like you know. So that's what she said. And these two they really, really go well together. One does not outshine the other. They kind of complement each other in the different areas. Um, it's like the Russells with this nice high corn content. Has got the sweetness and the vanilla and the honey, and it kind of tones down a little bit of that red peppery kind of zip that the cigar has. And they just really go well together. I picked up these cigars. It's actually, I think these have been sitting in my humidor for probably a year or more. Still wrapped up. I bought 2 5-packs, and I was finally, I'm like, I need to try and do something that I haven't done yet. And I saw these in there still in the wrapper, and I'm like, all right. I do have 2 boxes coming. They should be here this week. Another box of Melanios. Those have all of a sudden become real easy to get and fairly inexpensive, at least where I do my buying. And shit, what was the other one? I can't remember now. It's bad when you buy cigars and you can't even remember what you bought, but it's a box. It's one that I was certain I'm buying a box and I'll like it and smoke it all. I have a box of the Undercrown Shade that I haven't taken the wrapper off of yet, but I've paired that one before, and I saw the box. It was a great price, so I hopped on it. That is a really smooth spirit. Uh, that is one that's a little higher in the hierarchy with a 10-year aging, and I'd have to go back. I've had this bottle a while. I'd have to go back and see how much I paid for it, but it is a reasonable bottle. It's one of those that's under 100. I can't remember if it's under 50 or not, but it's a very good spirit. Very good spirit. Especially for one of those people that they're just getting into whiskey or whatever. Uh, you're really kind of getting what you pay for here. You may be paying a little bit more for it, but the aging really does soften it down and let those flavors really come through. Still, just try. I cannot figure out what in the world they did right there. Yeah, got it held in the wrong hand so you can see it. Yeah, right there. It's a ripple and a rather large one. I mean, I can get my fingernail under it. It's that big. That's the first time I've seen one from Punch that has that big of a flaw in it. Almost any cigar, you're going to find little things here and there. But yeah, somebody must have been out drinking the night before when they rolled this one. And it passed QC. Jeep Wrangler, $411 a month with $4,000 down. You better have the money to put gas in that thing. I had a Jeep. I love it. It was the truck. Can't remember what they call it now. But anyway, it was the truck. Mine was the Willys edition. And sorry, I bumped the camera. Yeah, I got like 15, 16 miles to the gallon. It's a V6. My the truck I had before that was a Dodge Ram with a 5.7 liter Hemi in it. I think you get up and scoot, and I would get 17 miles to the gallon in the city, and I could get 21 or 22 out on the interstate. Jeep was much worse, even though the 1500 was much heavier. Now I've got a full-size Chevy with a turbocharged 4-cylinder in it. That's all I need. I'm beyond the days of, getting out and racing up and down the street. I'm well beyond that age. Now I'm just like, get me to point A to point B without somebody blowing up around me. Now, I thought of this story last night. I think I was telling somebody in the last day or two, but joined the Navy in 1991 and was stationed in Staten Island, New York. New York City is a great place to visit. Well, it used to be a great place to visit. You didn't want to live there. I don't even know if it's a good place to visit now. But anyway, we spent most of our time down in the Caribbean doing drug operations and war games with the British and Canadian navies. And my Bayern Munich Reds are playing, and they're not doing all that great. But I keep getting the notices on my tablet. But anyway, we were down there, and that was back in, then you had Roosevelt Roads, which was a huge Navy base as far as area, and it's like the second or third largest Navy base in the world. And I had my friend on the ship was he was a Jamaican immigrant. He was from Jamaica, and loved him, brown. And we were on the same duty section. So when we were in port, you worked once every 4 days. There were 4 duty sections, and you worked once every 4 days. And we were on the same duty section. When we were in port, we were pulling out of port in Rosie Roads, and the ship broke down. We could still see the island. And tugboats had to come out and get us. We were like hard broke down. They towed us back in. Of course, FedEx was still kind of in its infancy. And the part we needed to have to replace on it to get the ship running again was going to take 3 weeks to get there. So we spent 3 weeks in port working once every 4 days. So, remember, we were in Puerto Rico. That's the home of Bacardi. Well, me and Brown would get up every day. We weren't working. We get on the little base bus and go down to the grocery store and the department store, and the Class 6, the liquor store was right there. We'd get, we had like a cooler. We'd get some ice, some fruit juice, some cigars. We'd go over to the liquor store, and we could buy Bacardi for $2.50 a gallon. We'd buy a gallon of Bacardi. We get back on the bus, go down to the less populated of the 2 beaches that were on the base. I can still find it on Google Maps. I can show you exactly where it was. We sit down there all day, drinking rum and fruit juice and smoking cigars and listening to reggae music. And I tell people, y'all should have felt very safe. Really, y'all gonna start that right now? I'm sorry. I try to have a professional show, but the neighbors don't always cooperate. And I always tell them, I'm like, we were down there, leaned up against palm trees, smoking cigars, drinking rum and fruit juice. If anybody had tried to have an invasion on that beach and try to come in and storm the base, we could have plied them with rum and cigars and waited till help arrived. We were protecting you. You should have felt very safe. And back in those days, I had no money, so $2.50 a gallon was right up my alley. So, looking very good. Wonderful stacks of nice white ash. You got a little ED going on there. It's getting a little crooked. But as with any man, you start aging, starts getting a little crooked. That's what she said. Man, I can't see for the closed captioning, but it looks like the Browns are ahead over the Eagles. Well, all the Sanders worshipers are going to be on social media now. Oh yeah, well, he's the next coming of Tom Brady. That's all you hear. He was taken in the 5th round for a reason, and it didn't have anything to do with his race. He didn't show up when he was supposed to show up. He showed up to interviews unprepared. He gave flippant answers. He acted like a spoiled, entitled football player. It is what it is. And I hope he does well, but we'll see. So far as preseason, he's getting in there, and everybody's just trying to not get hurt right now because there's been a lot of people hurt. I am hoping for a lot of good stuff out of my Aggies this year. Second year under Elk, and he's gotten some really good players in there. A lot of the people that were from the previous administration have moved on to other schools, and he's had a full year to be prepared for this season. So we're going to see. I'm hoping somebody doesn't sneak up on them like Arkansas that they're kind of overlooking. They have Florida the week before Arkansas and Auburn LSU, I think, the week after. Come on, dude. And so it would be easy with those two big games sandwiched on either side of Arkansas. Arkansas is not supposed to be all that great this year. They could overlook them and lose that game. So all my buddies in Arkansas, yeah, you can crow about, oh yeah, you said Arkansas was going to win that game. I said Arkansas could win that game. We'll see. I think we're probably here about the halfway mark, and I think this is right in the kind of sweet spot where it needs to be. The bourbon's kind of cherry cola note kind of locks on to the cigars more like dried fruit and cocoa, kind of creating a kind of a chocolate covered cherry kind of effect. Not to the extent of a Rocky Patel 60 and Dalmore 12-year-old Scotch. That was like eating chocolate covered cherries. But this has that kind of touch to it. The Rocky Patel 60 and the Dalmore 12, that is like a dessert. It's the best pairing I ever pulled off. So, in the spirit, you've got that nice kind of orange peel and cinnamon, and kind of mirrors the cigar's kind of baking spices. Maybe, I don't have any water, but maybe if you just dropped literally a touch of water, a few drops of water into it, it might open that citrus up, even more, and would probably enhance your enjoyment even more. I'm not getting into all that, trying to mix and match as I go. It's enough to sit here and talk to the camera for 45 minutes and tell you everything that's going on. I will say that the ED is getting worse as it's getting older. Yeah, that's how it works. But there's still that is some beautiful stacks of ash right there. Beautiful stacks of ash. Yeah, I'm going to have to get this cigar out of the humidor a little more often. I swear if I'd have been out here doing this an hour earlier, they'd been out here an hour earlier doing that. I don't know how bad it's coming across on y'all. Maybe you may be like, it's not a big deal. But yeah, put it in the comments. Let me know if the background noise is making it hard for me to hear. I got my little microphone right there. Hopefully it's not. But speaking of that, You know, I've been thinking I ought to do a separate kind of series on how to have your own podcast. I've made a lot of mistakes. And, you know, some people, they will, they might not have to make the same mistakes I did. Some of the things that I did, I invested a lot of money in some, equipment and stuff that I don't even use now. You saw it. Bastard. I knew that was going to happen. Hate it when that happens, especially on camera. Anyway, it is what it is, we'll move on. I'm about to get in the pool. Pool is looking lovely today. Oh yeah. I think the fam has come in. They're probably waiting until I'm done out here, and then we're all going to get in the pool. Us and the dogs. Really, I'm getting close to wrapping this one up. I mean, we're doing well. We're at 36 minutes, and I'm already getting down into the last like third of this cigar. Had a nice burn to it. I mean, you're probably talking about maybe a 45-minute smoke, maybe 50, depending on how well you strung it out. Depends on the person. I'm hitting them a little more because I'm trying to work this, keep this in, a nice time frame so that I don't start. I've got over 3 dozen people watching. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I love that. All of you, just go in there and leave one comment. Hi, great show. You suck. I don't care anything. But that's what she said, And the Russell's Reserve, it's one of the smoothest spirits that I think I've ever tried. It is exceptionally smooth to be 10 years old. When you start talking about Scotch, kind of the, I know that the entry level, the Scotch has to be 3 years. But, you really start getting up when you start with a 12-year. That's where you're really getting into the more exclusive Scotches. But this at 10 years, that is a super, super smooth spirit for 10 years old. You would think it's older than that. Oh, they got kids out at the game with their I Love Cleveland shirts on, out on the sidelines. They got Huntley in now. They took Sanders out. I'm not a Browns fan, but I keep up as much as I can keep up with in different teams. And, yeah, they just signed Travis Huntley a week or so ago. I'm a little hot. I'm gonna take a sip here. I know I should do water, but when I'm out here by the pool, water just doesn't do it. Still just an awesome volume of smoke coming off this stick. It's not a smoke monster, but it really puts off a really good volume of smoke. That was a good pass. Sorry, people. I think there's like 3 or 4 yards all getting mowed at once. They must hear me talking. Be like, all right, yeah, we'll screw him. Everybody go out and mow your yards now. I think we're getting about down to the end. We're really, really close. But I've already had it morph again, so we'll start kind of wrapping this thing up. And probably just about the time I sign off, they'll all go away. The Russell's 10-year has this really nice, like satiny texture to it that's not heavy. It doesn't like bulldoze the Sumatra's wrapper on the stick. The cigar is kind of medium body, maybe a little medium plus, and it's really nice finish. Give the bourbon something to kind of push against without overpowering it. You know, I probably do a little more often, but I think if you really like slow down the cadence and maybe, you know, you take a puff every 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30, and then every second or third puff, you take a sip, probably really get, I say really way too much. I really say really, really too much. It would, you know, kind of keep the dialogue lively in the combination, you know. He's just sitting there with the lawnmower running. Been dealing with this stuff. It makes me lose my place. You know, I think this is a, yeah, I'm not monetized. I'll say hi. I mean, this is kind of a, you know, the classic. I said this in the beginning, kind of a sweet meat, spicy kind of thing. The Russell's Reserve 10-year supplies some nice caramelized sweetness with mature oak and baking spices in there. And that kind of tames down the punch Rare Corojo's kind of peppered cedar and cocoa. That kind of midsection kind of collaboration or synergy with the that peppered cedar and kind of cherry cola kind of combination with some dried fruit and cocoa, and it's really outstanding. You don't find those kinds of combinations in at least a lot of the pairings I've done. Very few, but these were really good. And I think it really lands solid. I mean, I don't think you could really go wrong. Even some of the more newer cigar and whiskey future aficionados, you still got the training wheels on. This could be one I think you could probably approach very easily in both the spirit and the cigar. I would give it a 88 out of 100. You know, like I'd said a little while earlier, maybe a few drops of water could open the spirits, more citrus notes up some more that might add to the enjoyment. But this has been a really great smoke and sip. Maybe, I don't know, I need to come up with some kind of phrase for that. Smoke and sip is okay, but sip and smoke, I don't know. It's kind of like Up in Smoke. That's one of my favorite movies. Anyway, you definitely need to try Russell's Reserve 10-year and the Punch Rare Corojo. I think you will be pleasantly surprised in what you get. Thank you all for joining in. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, share the shiznit out of it. I need that kind of engagement. Leave me comments, any kind of comment. Hi. You could just leave me a smiley face. I don't care. Anything that boosts me up in the hierarchy of the engagement list, I will appreciate it. I will have more great pairings coming next week. I hope to see you again. Be sure to go by. I have a new Printify store. I will put a link to it. I already have put this shirt. I've already posted this shirt from my Printify store. This is the one that's got Isaiah 6:8 on the back of it. Whom shall I send and who shall go with us? Here am I, Lord, send me. That has been my bestseller on Amazon. I've moved over and started on Printify. It's just been a little easier, even though I'm not closing down Amazon because Amazon is the king. But definitely, I've got several shirts out there. You probably like them. I've got just the regular Sticks-n-Stones shirt with just our logo on it. If you want to, you know, promote the store, I mean the shop. The show. I'd be more than happy for you to do that. Until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold.